In early 2000, a little sci-fi movie was released to theaters titled Pitch Black. The film starred at the time small-time actor Mark Sinclair, better known as Vin Diesel, as the anti-hero Richard B. Riddick.
So where the hell's this guy now?
Riddick is a dangerous criminal that is being transported to a prison in a spacecraft. When the spacecraft is damaged by a comet and makes a crash landing, Riddick escapes. Unfortunately for the survivors, the planet is ridden with alien creatures who begin attacking the survivors.
Finally found something worse than me, huh?
Forcing Riddick to join forces to develop a plan to escape the planet. Riddick is a former mercenary, pilot, and now an infamous criminal with augmented eyes that allow him to see in the dark. Imagine Mr. Clean meets Rambo. That's kind of Richard B. Riddick.
When you're pushed, killing's as easy as breathing.
I'll kill you with my teacup.
The film was shot on a modest budget of $23 million, scoring $53 million worldwide with mixed reviews. It wasn't long before the film became a cult hit, particularly for the love of Diesel's now popular character of Riddick.
You don't know.
I know you don't prep your emergency ship unless there's a fucking emergency.
He's fucking right.
The film would go on to spawn 2 more live-action feature films, a direct-to-DVD animated film, a motion comic, 2 novelizations, a mobile game, and 2 video games for PC and console, the first of which, The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay, being today's topic of Lost and Found. So let's go digging in the dark and see what we can find.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay was released to Xbox in the summer of 2004, with the PC version being released several months later in December. The game would once again follow Riddick in the events leading up to Pitch Black. Riddick is captured by Pitch Black's William Johns. Yes, this guy. Where he's taken to the barren planet of Butcher Bay, a maximum security planet where no prisoner has ever escaped. From here, Riddick has to maneuver the advanced prison system, the elements, and the politics if he is to escape.
You're not going to be a problem, are you, Riddick? Because my boys and I like solving problems.
Like solving problems.
John said you ugly looks.
Man's
For the
voice.
first time, I gotta agree with him.
Nice try.
Escape from Butcher Bay was developed by Swedish company Starbreeze Studios, with publishing done by Vivendi Games and Vin Diesel's company Tygon Studios. Vivendi Games is most known for its work on Spyro and the Scarface movie tie-in game, just to name a few.
You wanna play with me?
In 2008, the company merged with Activision to create Activision Blizzard. Vin Diesel's company, Tygon Studios, would go on to work on several of his projects, including Wheelman, the sequel to Escape from Butcher Bay, and more recently, a Fast and Furious tie-in, as well as Barca BC. That being said, the studios went relatively quiet in the last few years.
Use the container.
Like a wrecking ball, right?
Incoming dead ahead! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
That's what she said.
Unlike other tie-in games in previous franchises, Escape from Butcher Bay focused on differentiating the game from the Chronicles of Riddick. They sought to explore Riddick's character using the prison break setting, with inspiration took from the classic 1979 Clint Eastwood film Escape from Alcatraz.
No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz.
Starbreeze was inspired by hit video games such as GoldenEye and Tom Clancy's revered Splinter Cell games, both of which are easy to see within moments of entering Butcher Bay. Further focus was put on telling a compelling narrative and building the world of Butcher Bay over the growing popularity of multiplayer. At the time, the addition of multiplayer would add millions in cost, including a larger design team and another year of unnecessary development. To add authenticity to the world of Butcher Bay, Vin Diesel lended his likeness and voice to the game. Both him and writer-director/character creator David Twohy worked on developing the plot and character of Riddick. Diesel offered guidance for the game's writer, reducing the lines of Riddick as the actor felt he spoke too much. Escape from Butcher Bay was completed in 18 months, being released on June 1st of 2004. Despite the relatively short development time, the game looks absolutely incredible, both then and now. Starbreeze used normal mapping, a 3D technique for detailed textures to be drawn on the models with lower polygon counts. This creates a better visual look without sacrificing the game's frame rates. The game also has top-notch lighting, with per pixel stencil shadowing that puts off the correct atmosphere for the universe. The game received wide acclaim, which was unique considering most movie tie-in games were considered mediocre at best. Game Informer's Jeremy Zoss noted that every aspect of play is expertly implemented. GameSpot's Greg Cassavan believed that the game effectively and innovatively combines excellent shooting, hand-to-hand combat, stealth, and adventure elements. Despite coming out 16 years ago, it's hard not to argue with those statements even today. The Riddick universe is full of atmosphere, and that comes off clear the moment you step off the prisoner ship and into Butcher Bay. It feels gross, mucky, and lived in. For the time, the amount of detail created and even preserved 16 years later is truly astounding. Aiming shit's hard. Oh! Of course, the game has went through a reinvention, but still, the remastered edition came out 12 years ago. Voice talents of previously mentioned Vin Diesel paired with stars like Cole Hauser, Exhibit, Ron Perlman, and Michael Rooker make for an outstanding cast that adds significant production value. Within moments of playing Escape from Butcher Bay, those GoldenEye and Splinter Cell inspirations are felt immediately. Gunplay feels tight, with the HUD limited. It allows for a more immersive experience, especially in today's overly loaded HUD design. Guns range from the typical shotgun, assault rifle, to even the prison trinkets.
I take that as a no. Saying no to me is not the kind of mistake you want to make.
The best moments of action usually involve those cutscenes that lead to Riddick bashing the hate out of a prison inmate. One of my all-time favorite franchises, Splinter Cell, feels most evident in the game's stealth sequences. Riddick's health, which is indicated by squares in the left corner, also turned to a neat blue when he's fully hidden in the shadows. It's minimalist design that I believe allowed the game to age gracefully. Sections reward you for going through them with a more stealth approach, rather than guns blazing. Ammo is limited, and Riddick, despite being more than just a human, can easily be taken out when he's outgunned. This allows for a more natural survival mechanic that makes each decision feel more important than the next. One of the fine attributes of Pitch Black was the impressive use of a small budget. This meant that those behind the camera had to make intelligent decisions to make a believable alien world. That same ideology applies to Escape from Butcher Bay, with high-quality, minimalist design language that could easily be implemented back then, but also stand the test of time. Escape from Butcher Bay doesn't have many flaws. Sure, even back then, the gunplay might not have been as tight as some shooters, and the stealth wasn't up to par for a stealth genre leader like Splinter Cell, but the biggest flaw was the game's brevity. It's quite easy to get through the game's narrative, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. The game is littered with collectibles, even more in the remastered edition. Starbreeze had also originally developed the game to have a complex role-playing system, but game testers dissuaded them to not have it. These intricate RPG elements would have added a lot to the game, and could have made that prison environment even more interesting than it already was.
Prisoner, show yourself.
Alrighty then.
The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay is a superb and timeless video game.
I said you were lucky to be alive, Johns. But luck can be fleeting. Riddick has already cost me plenty. Far more than you're worth, to be honest.
I'm just getting started, Huxley.
From the moment you step into the prison, you can almost smell this thick, dirty environment filled with the universe's nastiest criminals. High-quality character models really bring to life characters like Riddick, who for the time looks excellent. Diesel's voice and likeness really add to the game, making this feel as if Riddick had walked off the set and onto your video game console.
It ain't the fall that gets you. It's a sudden stop at the bottom.
I would easily put this as one of the best games on the original Xbox, and clearly stands the test of time. You can easily pick up Escape from Butcher Bay secondhand on eBay on the cheap. I highly recommend you journey into the dark with Riddick for this memorable classic. Hey Tots, thanks for watching. Shout out to these amazing Tots, Mouse Pounder, Ilana September, and LaShawn Johnson for making sure this video is possible. Thanks to all those that support me on Patreon and all you kind enough to watch right now. I'll see you all in the next video.